Yeah, we're alive, baby.
I'm trying to see.
There's a delay, baby. Yeah. There's a delay, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Wow.
fucking try this again.
Take 2.
Let me get a little music on.
That was annoying. An hour and a half of talking, and our audio wasn't working.
Yeah.
Slightly peeved about that. Streamlabs, what the fuck?
Yeah, we tried to set it up.
Mike said it was on, and you could see everything moving, and then nothing. I'm so pissed. I'm about to smash this glass over Nick's head.
You don't, because I was already cut once today.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad, actually.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna need some stitches.
Yeah, no, I'm bleeding through. This is the second set of gauze, and I'm bleeding through it, so definitely gonna need some stitches. Eventually, I'm hoping the butterfly stitches just kind of keep it, and we don't have to worry. But we got volume now, so that's good. We just have to. I hate this.
Yeah. I'm gonna just step to the side and just make sure we can really hear everything clearly over the music and all.
Yeah, go for it. I gotta fix this camera a little. So we should be all set up. We were talking aliens and telling zoo stories, and we told all those stories, and we talked about aliens, but I guess we're just gonna have to do it again, because this is how Streamlabs wants to function. So, I'm guessing I did something wrong. I don't know what. You would think as professional podcasters that I would understand how to set up a simple microphone and video, and I thought I did.
Listen, it showed it was working. The sound bar was moving. I wouldn't beat yourself up about it. Especially since Jerry's here. And he said he's sorry, guys, that happened to you.
And he's in a... Doesn't it look like he has a dented head back here? What did you do to him?
I gave my haircut a couple weeks ago.
Oh no.
This is the one time in front of a camera he was not pretending to go limp, so.
Enjoy it. Yeah, Lauren, she's not good at giving haircuts, although she did do a great job of my eyebrows, so I will give her credit for that. And...
But should we tell him how we got Jerry?
Yeah. You got him, so you tell the story, and while he's on camera and not comatose.
This is Jerry's big debut, and I'm a school teacher, and I work in New York City, and I was leaving school one day probably a little after 4 o'clock, and I was walking to my car, my usual spot near, and I have to pass this deli, and I saw Jerry tied to the fence, and he was very matted and overgrown, and there was a woman standing with him, and I just knew, I've been training for this moment my whole life. My dream was to find a stray dog and take him home. So I asked this woman, I was like, I'm sorry, is there a problem here with this dog? I just inserted myself right into the situation. And she's like, yeah, I've been here for 45 minutes with him, seeing if anyone would come back for him, and no one's come back, and no one's called. And so I was like, I made it my mission to make sure that dog had somewhere to go. So this was the first week of January, and it was very cold. He was very withdrawn. He was scared. We tried giving him some bacon. He wasn't interested.
Which, come on. How does that not work?
Come on. But the second I took I was able to pull his leash off the fence. He was like, oh, okay, cool, let's go. And I was like, well, she's like, oh my God, I couldn't. The other woman was like, I couldn't even get near him to do that. He was doing a little growl. He was scared. He couldn't see because his hair was over his eye. And then,
it was the world's biggest bowl cut. It was awful.
And then I went and got my car, and I had a spare leash in my car I've been waiting for this moment for, and put him in the seat next to me. He was so excited. He was so happy, and we FaceTimed Nick, and I was like,
now,
I have something to tell you.
Now, mind you, this is already 6 p.m. And
no, it's not. It wasn't that late that day.
Yes, it was.
I left around 4, and there was for maybe 40 minutes. I don't know.
It was almost 6. And Lauren's usually, she calls me 4:30 every day, just to let me know she's leaving work and that she'll be home soon. And so now it's like I said, 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock, and I'm like, where is this bitch? And as soon as I finished saying that thought, or thinking that thought, I guess, she FaceTimes me. I was like, oh, speaking of. So I answered the FaceTime, and she's like, I did something.
I was like, I'm not alone in my car.
Yeah, I was like, is this a call?
I'm being held at gunpoint.
Can you imagine? You just like fucking little furry paw with a little gun.
You jacked me up for my cash. So I panned the camera over to Jerry, and I was like, I'm bringing this guy home. And I was like,
cool.
At least for the night, we'll figure it out.
It's a solid mop you got there.
Yeah, he was disgusting looking. We took him home, we bathed him, we cut his bangs so he could see, and he made himself pretty comfortable right away on our laps.
Yeah.
And then like next day we got him groomed, and he looked like a little, nothing. He was so skinny after all that.
It was like a big old hamster. It was just like...
a giant hamster.
And our lease doesn't allow for pets.
Which our landlords didn't remember that. They're like, I don't even remember what your lease says about pets, so yeah, you can keep them. And we're like, sweet.
Yeah.
Because he didn't bark. He was great. Our neighbor Joyce loves him. He's a big ham.
Yeah, Lauren wrote out a script of what she was going to say to our landlord.
Yeah, I was really nervous.
Yeah. She was super nervous about it. We called him. It was just like word vomit. You know, like, we left him home for 40 minutes, and we videotaped it, and it was perfectly okay, and he didn't do anything, he didn't bark, or whatever. And he's so adorable, and he's really small, he's only like 10 pounds, whatever. And the guy was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't...
This ain't no 10 pounds anymore.
Hey.
Yeah, he's like snoring while awake right now. Yeah, that's the story of little Jerry here. He loves to stare into your eyes.
He's such a fucking chunker.
I know.
Okay. You gotta...
Anyway, that's Jerry.
You're gonna do this with him on your lap.
No, it's too hot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So anyway, aliens.
So...
So heavy.
So, you know, the Pentagon just released 3 previously classified videos on the presence of some, what was the word they used? Uncharacterized or something like that. Basically saying unidentified objects, flying objects. Mm-hmm. And so these were leaked back in 2017. But now the Pentagon was like, we actually don't want you to think that there was like more to this video, and we also want you to know it was true. So they're basically like,
why would they care what we think? Like, bitch, I ain't gonna be called no liar. Like,
that's really what it is. Like, I'm sick of this shit. Ooh, thank you. We don't got any more White Claw?
It's a little. Yeah, but how wild is it that the Pentagon was like, yeah, this happened, this is real, and we're all just like, whatever, we don't give a fuck at this point. We're trying to get through this pandemic.
I have forgotten like 4 times.
I know. Like, they fucking confirmed it. And, like, after years of people being like, why won't the government just tell us? And now we're like, whatever, bro. I'm sick of being stuck at home.
Now, I find it interesting that they declassified it not right after, but not long after we had this whole plan to raid Area 51.
Yeah, that was what, for September?
Yeah, so it was only a couple months later.
Maybe they're releasing it because they have really bad news coming. Like, they released Tiger King at the beginning of the pandemic. They're like, shit's hitting the fan. Release the Tiger King documentary.
But that was Netflix. That wasn't the...
Yeah, they're like called Netflix, and they're like, get that shit out now.
Oh, so the Pentagon knows the shit that Netflix is going to release before they do it.
Yeah.
Like, Netflix sends it to them for approval.
So every time something, like, big comes out like that, you're like, what's going on? What's coming down the pipeline that we don't know about yet?
Well, that was a Dave Chappelle bit. He was talking about...
Oh, Michael Jackson, yeah. Like, Michael, we need you to touch another kid. We're really sorry about that.
Yes. It's just like, every time there's... like something go wrong with the world at large.
We're losing the war in Afghanistan. We're gonna need you to.
Public is asking a lot of questions, of course, and we're gonna need you to drug up another child. I'm like, I'm sorry. I am sorry, but it would really help out. And I'm not. I
Don't
don't
condone that whatsoever. just
don't
gonna say.
do not do that. And Michael Jackson can't now,
Yeah,
so you're safe.
but I love Chappelle.
But my favorite joke, and this isn't, I don't want to turn this into like a Chappelle Show summary, but my could easily. My favorite joke about that was, can you imagine the cure for cancer being Michael Jackson sucking your dick somehow?
Yeah, and now they're like,
Like,
yeah.
nope, didn't appreciate
Yeah,
it.
he's like, yeah, you guys didn't appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, aliens. They gotta exist, right? Like the Pentagon's basically come out and been like, yes. Like here's video and we're not doing anything with it. Nothing's happening. How is this?
So curious, like what they look like in those ships. Now, like, it's not to say that they look just like us. You know, it's like kind of egocentric to think that every life form has to look like us.
It's unlikely that they do, because think of all the resources and
Evolutionary pressures that
and-
have caused us to look like this.
yeah, I mean there has to be some variation, right? They're not living under the same atmospheric conditions as us.
Right.
So,
So yeah, there's probably gonna be some differences.
but I don't want to make this religious or political or anything. This, you know, we're gonna have fun and have a good time. But you know, what if? Like, what does this mean for like God? Yo,
Like, wouldn't it be easier if God was
how
working
you guys
off a
doing? Thanks for
template
joining us.
and like just made every life form human-like?
That has to be proof, like more proof for God. And I don't particularly believe in religion at all. But like, if there was human-like creatures strewn across the galaxy, like wouldn't that be more proof that man was created in His image, right?
Yeah, or by like a single thing, yeah. I think so, but yeah, I think it's very likely, as big as the universe is, that there
has to be something. Even if it's like bacteria or algae or something, like they gotta be there.
Yeah, and I remember your dad, like a few months back, who was like obviously the guiding light in all things
Oh,
true.
he's that's a
was
fucking
saying
idiot.
something about like, oh, they found life somewhere, but it's not carbon based, it's like silicone
What-
or silicone.
this-
I don't even know.
This
I don't know.
motherfucker, what is like NASA calling him and be like, Frank,
We
found
did it. You
we-
won't believe it, but we
got him.
freaking did it.
I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to like, can you?
Trying to do something.
I'm trying to do a thing. Frank, we got him. And that was it. Now it's not. Now it's not funny. Now it's not funny. Great, thanks. Aliens. Just think about that. There's like. In the video, they were saying what? It was going like 120 knots. Like the wind was going 120 knots, and this thing was flying against it, like no problem.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear the whole video, but yeah, it was pretty wild.
White Claws!
Yeah, they're not paying us, but they're just good. Black cherry.
You need some pointers for what? What can we help with? While we're waiting for that to come through, I love the idea that aliens exist, and there has to be like a. Do you think there's like some like governing council of aliens that are just like, do you think that the humans should know about us? Like, are they ready for us? Because I don't think the answer is yes.
No, but that is probably why we have the Space Force now, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's think about this. The government knew that these UFOs and aliens existed, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we're making this Space Force. Maybe the Space Force actually existed a while ago. And they're like, well, now's just a good time to tell you guys.
No, this is they're going public with it. That's the order of operations. Space Force existed. They were doing their thing. Then some shit was about to happen. Like there's something that like they can't contain anymore. So they're like,
the aliens threatened to release their own videos. So they're like, let's just get out ahead of this, guys.
what is the secret to love? That is a tough question.
Oh shit, curveball.
But I think I can answer that. At least I can. I hope I can answer that. For me, it's really about communication. And I know it sounds cliche, and I know it's probably the easy answer, but it's so important. And the ability for you to be wholeheartedly and earnestly yourself is so critical.
Wow, this conversation
It
really
really took a turn, and I wasn't expecting this.
Went
But
from aliens are fucking real to be
but
like,
if you have a question and I think I can help, then fucking we'll get back to aliens. But I really do think that if you can
understand the other person's love language.
I was gonna get there, yeah. But
Yeah.
first you have to be able to be yourself. You have to be comfortable and confident enough in you to express that, because what happens is if you go on a date with somebody and you put on a show, you put out your best self, and that person likes them, but that's not really you. That's who you think they want you to be. And then in 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is, when you start losing that and you start going to who you really are, that might not be the person they wanted to be with anymore. So, be yourself from the beginning. And if they don't like you from the beginning, no problem. It's better.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, well, or don't. That might complicate it a little. But, you know, I would definitely use that as my advice. And as Lauren said, take the love language quiz once you start getting serious with someone, because the way Lauren shows affection and the way I want to be shown affection are not the same. And we have to work with that. And you taking the very short love language quiz really does help. So
It helps you understand what you want. I'm like, never thought about it that way.
Yeah. Like, I'm a very affectionate person. I really want physical touch. That's my thing. Even if it's not even sexual, just like to hold hands and the cuddle, and like I really want that in a relationship. And Lauren, that's not on the top of her list. You know, hers is actions, someone helping her or doing things for her. So I
wash those dishes, bitch.
So I took
Which
that.
Nick is banned from doing right now.
I cut my hands super bad. Anyway, I know that Lauren likes things being done for her to help her out, so I do those things.
I'm a busy bee with work.
I cook,
so.
or I clean, or I help take the dog out, all that kind of stuff. Oh, thanks for the follow.
Woo.
We appreciate that, Mr. T. What is that? Oh, Mr. Jenkins. I'm not saying that right at all. But I was in a relationship for 6 years. It didn't end well, and I went on to another relationship that wasn't a very healthy one. So I've been on, and then now I have this stunning beauty. So, I have a lot of experience in what works and what doesn't work, and how can you take a relationship and make it something that's really strong. That 6-year relationship I was in, that was from age 18 to 24. That's like the prime of your...
You don't even know who you are at that age.
You don't, but that's what also makes it so challenging to stay in a relationship.
Yeah.
Is you don't know who you are, what you want, and it's always changing, and to be able to navigate those waters with someone is tough. But I would consider that a fairly successful relationship, even though it didn't work out. Not every relationship has to last forever to be successful.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have any things you want to throw out there, or did I steal that all?
Pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
Nice.
Lady. Great job.
And Lauren is. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's hear another. Let's get that other question out there.
I'm afraid.
Lauren.
I'm scared.
She beats me, so cracking the whip isn't gonna help me at all. I got the Stockholm syndrome. But we this took a turn, and I'm actually enjoying this as much as I like to turn alien. You're 18, you feel lost, what to do and how to find yourself.
Ooh,
that is tough.
Not alone in 8. First of all, can't imagine being 18 during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's hard enough being 18. I didn't know what I was doing, and I felt lost until
2 years ago.
my mid-20s.
You're an essential worker? Okay.
Oh man, you're going through it right now.
Yeah, you're in the thick of it, so I salute you. That's tough.
Yeah.
But you were saying you felt lost.
Yeah, I really people were like, oh, being young is great, but people don't talk about how rough your 20s are and coming to find yourself and really figuring out what you want to do. When you go into college and you're 18, you're supposed to pick a major and know what you're supposed to want to do for the rest of your life. But most people I knew who went to a great school, by the way, ended up changing their career and their their life trajectories even after college in their 20s. I myself, I went from being a zookeeper, I went back to school and became a teacher. So really hard.
Listen, that you don't need to, right? You don't have to take the SAT right now. You don't have to go to school right now. That might not be. What's up, Mr. Cool Cat? I saw the first message. I had to cancel that one. As funny as I find it, we gotta have a line. And but I appreciate you stopping in and throwing a what's up in the chat. Not going to college, doing all stuff, that might not be your thing, right?
That's okay.
It's super okay. There are plenty of people who either don't want to and go and do poorly. There are people who go.
Nobody wants to go to college when they have no plans and they just go to college and rack up all this debt. So
yeah,
it's okay if you change your mind and go to college later too, when you have a more clear view of what you want to do.
Absolutely.
So, my brother, God, he pretended to go to college for a year. And my parents are wondering why the checks are being sent back. But he really, it wasn't for him, and he ended up becoming a firefighter, and he loves his job now.
Yeah.
So it's not for everyone.
Even Lauren, she yeah, I mean, you might need a break from school, right?
Especially in high school right now, everybody needs a break right now. Doing remote learning is really hard. I'm a teacher and it's hard enough.
But aside from that, right? It maybe you're exhausted from it because you haven't found the thing you're passionate about. And once you find that thing, then going to school or taking whatever classes or whatever you gotta do won't be exhausting. You'll wake up every morning invigorated, ready to go.
Yeah, say maybe you're not into science and math, but you're that doodler in class. Well, maybe going to a graphic design school would be more up your alley. There are specialty schools too if you decide that's what works for you.
Yeah, play around with things. You are 18, man. There's such a pressure to, have it all figured out at 18. And it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
If only it was that simple.
I was to say, if only it were that easy.
But there is some. Thank you.
Right, you guys gotta. I get it. You gotta pay the bills, right? You gotta. And believe me, I had jobs I tried here and there, and I was changing jobs. And you hate them, but you move on and you figure things out as you go. And sometimes when you look back, you're like, oh, the path to where I am now seems clear, but when you're going through it, you feel like you're just stumbling. So.
Yeah, school is very expensive. I personally have a ton of debt. I have a master's in neuroscience, and that doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, you went to a private school your first year, and you're still paying that first year back.
Yeah, I went to a school in Boston for pharmacy, and then I realized that pharmacy, for me, was boring. I didn't like retail pharmacy. There's other aspects of pharmacy that might have been more interesting, but they were really teaching you for, some people don't find it worth it, especially if it's not something you're really passionate about. That's right. Most people. What's the percentage of college students who change their degree? What is it, 60% of college students wind up changing their major? That's a big deal. That means 60% change what they want to do, and I was one of them. I didn't change my major, but I changed what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in pharmacy. I applied to med schools. I was doing research. I was applying to PhD programs, and plans change.
Yeah, I went to school for 4 years with environmental studies in mind. I wanted to do wildlife conservation, and then I had a taste of that life and realized how difficult it was going to be. I had a very idealistic view of that life, as many 18-year-olds do. And when I loved it, I went back to school. I got my master's degree for education, and I had to have a longer track and pay more money, but at least I'm happy now and have a more secure job, hopefully. I don't know. But.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another tough thing that Mr. Cool Cat pointed out. If you put all of this effort and energy into something that might not be high profile or might not be particularly lucrative, it might feel like it wasn't worth it. And I definitely don't want that for anybody. That's awful. Especially if it's something you really cared about in the time, and then you get out.
I don't think anybody's particularly finding good jobs right now, with what's going on. So if you are even working, period, even if that's a Starbucks, told that, right? My cousin works at Starbucks while in school, and the company actually treats them pretty well. So I'm you know, I think that's not a bad place to be right
I had a figure you weren't doing gender studies, but you did help me prove a point. So I, went with it.
Data engineering is pretty good. Hot field.
Yeah. But, listen, if you like what you're doing at the body shop, then it may be time to think about whether you're becoming a full-time mechanic. If you don't like it, though, then okay, you don't. Yeah, I had a feeling otherwise you wouldn't be in this.
Yeah.
Take your time. Just do not rush. I that's the thing I really want to stress and emphasize is that you don't have to decide right now. Lauren, like I said, we just turned 30 not long ago. She's in her first year of her career.
First official year of teaching. So yeah. And sometimes I look and I'm like, dang, man, like, if only I had realized sooner I should do this. And, like, sometimes I would beat myself up about that I feel like I'm late to the game. Then I'm like, dang, better late than never.
But
seriously.
And I would also argue that doing it later has made her better at her job. Okay. Because she cares more and she understands the importance and value of it.
Massage therapist. Ooh la la. Nick is terrified of massages.
We, for our birthdays, we went to Atlantic City. Because we're in that area, and Lauren's mom got us a gift certificate for a massage as a gift. I've never had a professional massage before, and
they're not all hot girls.
Because half
a lot of times it's older men.
Half of them are me. Nobody wants to massage me. I felt bad for the woman. You get some grannies in there. It's brutal. But I get so uncomfortable with people touching me.
It's like going to a nude beach. All the people you want to see nude are not there.
They're all at the bar 2 blocks down getting drunk. And then you convince them to go to the nude beach, and that's how you do it.
Yeah. But man, they were pricey massages, and I was like, no, you just need a professional one, then you'll realize you like it, it's so good.
That's not always true.
Nick was like, this is the wrong time.
I had like specific requests. I was like, don't touch here, don't touch my feet. I was like, don't go too high on my butt. And I'm
Hey, stop tickling my balls. Wait, they're not supposed to do that.
They weren't? Oh my shit. All right.
JK.
I'm comfortable with being touched. Listen, I am a jiu-jitsu practitioner for 8 years. I've been doing mixed martial arts for just as long. It's so hard for me to...
When people touch your neck and
people
relax.
touch my neck or my arms, whatever I got, I'm ready to like freak out.
Yeah.
I that's just who I am. I want to like... I love fighting. I really do. And I can't handle someone touching me and all this kind of stuff. It brings that out of me. So yeah, it would I definitely I don't smoke weed. I've actually never smoked weed. Oh. I've never tried pot.
And don't wash the hair.
Well, I do. I promise I do. I can't say the same for my clothes. Lauren will wash them. I don't know. I'll fuck up laundry. I do all the cooking and she takes care of the laundry. It's an agreement we came up with. But my clothes still come out stankin'.
Yeah.
Like it's you sweat, you do your thing, and Lauren wants the camera to be more on her.
Sorry. It was annoying me. It wasn't like middle.
Oh. Okay. But I'm honest to God, never tried.
I mean, sometimes I may smell like he doesn't, but he does.
Yeah, that's...
after a sweaty match,
Or like peeling potatoes.
Should be stankin' sometimes.
That's one of the problems. You guys can't really tell, but I'm like, oh, you can tell. Shit, I am very hairy. Yeah, you get that stank. you get that stank dick. Yes, we could change subjects for sure. I'd imagine most people came here for some alien talk and some animal stories. So we'll poke fun at some aliens and some astrology stuff. Dude, I don't know if I want to let that in chat. No, he didn't. Cool cat. I'll answer it to you personally. No.
Alright, so I feel like we touched on aliens, though. Do we want to move on to Zeus?
We talked a little bit about like have I ever fought an alligator? No. I mean I do want to fight a coyote. I think I could take some animals. He asked if Epstein killed himself, and no, I don't think he did. Anyway, so now that we got it out of the way, I think I could take some animals. Like there was that hiker, the jogger, whoever who like choked out the cougar. Well, he was lucky he was a juvenile because that would have ended poorly. But I think I could.
Yeah, cougars are bigger than most coyotes, I'd say.
Yeah, and they're also usually like 40 years old. So anyway, we posted, we do a podcast and it's a weekly podcast. We talk about science and trying to like break out some of the myths and stuff about science. So I want to answer that question after. But we got some shit for the astrology part. We, some fans of astrology kind of clapped back at us and were like, astrology's real, psychics are proven. And I'm like, are they?
I mean, that'd be awesome if they were, but there's just no scientific proof that there is. And we even hit them up and we were like, hey, if you can send us those peer-reviewed articles that say astrology's proven and factual, we'd be happy to change course. But we never heard from them.
Yeah, and we've gotten a couple of comments saying the same thing, like, this just proves your ignorance. And it's like, all right, like, fine. We're not omnipotent, right? Or I don't know everything, so I'm gonna be wrong about stuff. Eventually, I have to be. That's just the way it goes. And maybe I am wrong on this, and I would love to be. I would love for psychics and stuff to exist, but like, why can psychics exist, but not telepaths or people who can like shoot fireballs out of the hand like some fucking anime shit? Like, why can? If somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh, what's your job?" And they're like, "I'm a psychic." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like that's normal." But if someone came up to you and you're like, "What's your job?" and they respond that they are a vampire hunter or something like that, you'd be like, "Oh, this guy is he needs to see somebody." It just doesn't. It seems arbitrary and unfair how we can just completely pick and choose what cryptids we want to believe in.
Yeah. So Freaky Friday though, is that where you like switched?
Yeah.
Bodies?
Yeah, we switched bodies for a day. I know what I would do, and I'm not saying it.
God.
You know what it is. I don't need to say it.
I guess I can imagine. I guess I'd.
That wasn't directed at you. What would you do with my body?
But like we're still engaged to each other.
Yes, it's everything's the same. It's just our body swap.
I don't know. I guess I'd want to do some jujitsu moves on you and like feel how strong I am. Like lift you up over my head or something.
And
so now I can understand why you try to do it to me all the time.
Yes, and to answer your question.
And then you want to. If you're in that position, you'd be like, well, I guess I should know what it feels like for the other person.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody. If there are two people who will do something sexual and dirty fucking liars. So. Yeah, but once you start doing jujitsu and you feel like you have that knowledge and the ability to do it, you will never stop doing it.
That's what you say. And then you put me back in this frail ass body and you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't feel like taking a punch to the face.
You don't get punched in
jiu-jitsu. Or an elbow. I don't feel like taking an elbow.
It's accidental, but it does happen. I've been trying to get her to train jiu-jitsu forever. What zodiac sign is the best? They're all the same. They all mean nothing.
Except Aquarius, because that's what I am. So I would just have to say us.
I'm not an Aquarius.
No, I mean like me, my Aquarius.
You and your group of people who were born 3 days before me. So you must have a totally different personality set than me.
Apparently, we're intellectuals. What can I say?
Do you know why I'm salty about this? Do you know what my zodiac sign is? Pisces, and apparently the descriptor for Pisces is calm but confused. And I like to say, "Fuck you" to whoever wrote that.
That's great. We should put that in your bio on the website.
But not,
calm and confused.
I shouldn't have had. Do I have any We want to hear the spiciest conspiracy theories, and do I have any cool jujitsu stories? Jujitsu stories, you know, they're all the same. You throw people, you make them choke out, or you pass out from chokes, you try to break some joints. I have a couple of broken bones, collarbone, rib, fingers, toes, all that kind of stuff break. I don't think any of them particularly cool or interesting. I have some like video technique videos that I think are pretty cool, and we'll post them on like our what the hell is that, TikTok, or like sometimes I'll put them on Instagram stories, so you guys can see like some of the stuff I do. I would, if you guys want to, I can demonstrate some moves on Lauren, and you guys can see some cool shit. But
real life situation though. Sure, one time we were down in South Carolina, and Nick was busy talking to someone, and me and his sister were like, whatever, we're just gonna start walking, and we were like a block away.
You were like 3 blocks away.
And he was like,
my sister lives in Greenville.
And he was like, wait for me, guys. And then he starts sprinting full freaking speed. And he's like, like an idiot, he yells out, Lauren, catch me. But at that moment, he didn't realize he was about to come onto a curb. And so he starts to fall over the curb. But his jujitsu kicks in, and he tucks and rolls onto the floor, onto the ground, and comes back up and is still running. Still a smile on his face, too. Like nothing happened. And I was like, oh my God.
My sister and Lauren thought I was for sure breaking an arm or something. But I was able to... I didn't think about it. It just happened. I just like turned, tucked, and I rolled into it, and it was came away with just a little scrape on my hand. It was great.
But in terms of having to like fight someone on the street, I don't think.
No, I haven't fought anybody on the street, and it's weird. The more you learn about jiu-jitsu and fighting and self-defense, the less you want to fight. For a couple of reasons. One, you know how bad you can hurt someone, and how badly you can get hurt. Just because I've been training a long time, but it doesn't mean I can't get sucker punched. It doesn't mean I can't get hurt. And you don't know what other people know. I don't look like the kind of guy who has been training for years. And I could think that about somebody else very easily. So I don't like to use that. And God forbid I do really hurt someone. Even just like a pick up and slam, right? And do a basic takedown. And they hit their head on the concrete and they crack their skull. I mean, that can be really dangerous. And then I can have a lawsuit, you know? They can come at me and say, you knew what you were doing. You've been training. You knew better. And then now I get charged with assault or battery or whatever. Or assault and battery. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. My brother is. But, you know, I definitely encourage everybody to learn how to fight and how to do some self-defense. And I don't mean take one self-defense class, because...
Like I did.
Like Lauren did. She took like 3 classes and she's like, I know what I'm doing. And she doesn't. She might know if I like coach
my
her.
Ponytail.
If I like coax her on it, like, what do you do? No, she might know some stuff, but like when your adrenaline hits, everything happens so fast and your mind goes blank. And I know this from personal experience, not from like real world fight, but from competitions. Even just that, you get out there and they call your name onto the mat and the referee says fight, and it's just you and this other guy who wants to hurt you, by the way. Like his whole thing is he wants to hurt you. Yeah, the old dick twist. We can say what it is. But no, I definitely don't want this to be Joe Rogan. I like his stuff, but yeah, learn self-defense if you have the opportunity. That's the last I'll say about that. What did we eat today? What did we eat?
I don't even know.
Not that much. Yeah, you do the old cup check. What got me into it real quick, I just saw it on TV and I wanted to learn how to fight. Let's get to the conspiracy theories. Yeah. You want to hear about aliens? I definitely agree. Let's talk about that. We could do a whole jiu-jitsu thing another time if you guys are interested. No, it's fun. Don't worry about it.
So we were talking about aliens before, and just, I don't know, just how funny it is that the Pentagon released these videos, right? And we're like, here, fuck it, like, yeah, we have these videos of UFOs, it's real. And we're just like, whatever.
Which, it's conveniently only like 2 months after they came out with the Space Force. And it's like, what are they trying to prepare us for? What did they know that we don't know?
Right. If they were to tell us this now, like, what do they know that's the bigger deal?
Because obviously...
Never told everything.
Politicians and the military get information before us, and we know that because, I mean, it might be like Independence Day. I hope not. That would be real bad. And Will Smith isn't young enough to save us anymore. Right? That was Will Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Whew. How soon into a presidency do you think they're like, all right, Mr. President, all right, here's the deal. Aliens are real. And like, is it like as soon as you get in the limo after the inauguration ceremony, they're like, this is our biggest threat, actually. They make contact.
Well, from the Pentagon themselves recently, they actually recently declassified it. So it's not classified in what it was originally leaked in 2017. Yeah. And they've come out and since then be like, no, this is what we got. Like,
because people were like, oh, they're probably doctored videos and maybe they're not real. But now the Pentagon's like, yeah, no, these are legit videos. We didn't do anything.
Yeah, like not only they came out and said they wanted to do it for two reasons. One, they wanted to put any thoughts about what the legitimacy of it to bed, and what else. Like the idea that there were more to the videos that we didn't see, and they're like, no, this is all we got. Like, yeah. If you guys got more, let us know. that kind of deal. There has to be aliens, like 100%. Again, whether or not they're these creatures that are so advanced technologically that they have the ability to travel to Earth without us even knowing about their existence, I don't know. It might be something as simple as bacteria or algae or something, but they gotta be there. It's the hubris, just the raw hubris that humans have to think that we are the only living life forms on exist on this planet. That has to be astronomical.
Yeah. But I mean, we're typically not a conspiracy theory type podcast, or because we run a podcast, and a lot of times we debunk them because they can lead to some misinformation out there. It's like. Yeah, tons of planets. And we recently found a planet out there that fits in that Goldilocks zone, which means it's like a good enough distance from its star that it could house life. So we're finding more and more evidence that points towards life existing out in the universe. I'm teaching Earth Science this year, so this is like right in the thick of Earth Science and everything happening. It's been a good year for Earth Science.
And the thing you saw that you think you might have saw as a satellite, you might have actually been looking at Venus. April, right now, is prime Venus viewing time.
It's like it's the brightest spot in the sky. Yes. It's about northwest, but it doesn't move.
Yeah. So if it was moving or blinking, whatever, that might not have been Venus. But if you just looked up and you're like, holy shit, that's really bright, that might have been Venus. So that's kind of cool.
Right. There is a website you can go to.
It was moving like Mach 3. Or it might have been a shooting star or something like that, too.
What's the name of the website where they teach you how to observe and track satellites?
Yes, there's
TrueSat.
Yes.
.org. TrueSat.org. All you really need is binoculars, and they teach you how to spot them and track them, and you can input what you see into their website to help them like collect data on all the satellite junk that is like stuck up in space right now.
It's actually like a real issue, but we're not getting into that. Right. Do I think that there could be the possibility of a planet like Space Jam? Is it possible? Sure. Anything's possible, right?
Yeah, I mean, the universe is pretty large. So.
Do I think it's likely?
Who knows? Maybe there's a Thanos up there, and we're just like sitting on the cusp of being like materialized, and we have no idea.
If one of the two of us just vanishes, you know why?
Or maybe the government does know, and that's why they released a UFO video. They're like, whatever, shit's about to get real. We might as well let the people know.
I ain't getting on anybody's homemade rocket unless it's Elon Musk's. But, there has to be a way for us to inhabit other planets. But the problem is space travel itself is so difficult on the human body. If you ever really stop to think about it, like armadillos have like a shell, and other animals have like claws or fangs, and they have the ability to swim really well, they can fly, they can do... Humans got none of that.
Our best asset is our brain.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're like flesh and bones, so...
I think he's a government spy.
Yeah, and the problem is everything so far. All the planets that are likely inhabitable and everything, so far we would die before we reached it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like we talked about this before, just Lauren and I. If something, an object or like a planet or whatever, is 25 light years away, that means traveling at the speed of light, it will still take you 25 years to get there.
Yeah, and spoiler, our bodies would fall apart at the speed of light. We wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, sleep paralysis does happen to
Yeah.
people. It's whether or not it's like them being haunted or possessed or whatever, it's a different story, but like people do have sleep paralysis. But like traveling that speed, your body can't physically take it. It's too much. So how do we get to planets like the Space Jam planet? Like how does Michael Jordan do it? Right? Is that what Mike's secret stuff is? It lets him like traverse the planes of space and time.
Who knows? Wouldn't that be great if he still existed on another planet somewhere?
Can you hump at light speed?
Probably
your
not.
atoms, like the molecules that make up your body, sorry, I was just allowing that to go through.
Oh.
Your body would, the atoms would be humping each other all over the place. You would literally be turned into space dust. Like you would just disintegrate.
Right. But I want to touch on the sleep paralysis thing because
Lauren loves ghosts and stuff.
I love like this paranormal type talk. And I heard that there's 3 main sleep paralysis like apparitions, if that's even the right word. It's the old hag, the hat man with like a top hat, and then I think like a demon type one, like gargoyle type thing. I found the old hag is like really the scariest of the stories I've heard. She seems terrifying. And I listened to another podcast called Odd Tonic that talks about this paranormal stuff a lot. And I love their stories. Like people really feeling these beings touching them and on them. And even one person was saying they were sleeping on their stomach one time and they felt like the person fish hooked them and turned them around. Like, that is terrifying. I can't even imagine. I think my heart would explode if I had sleep paralysis. I'd be so terrified.
Yeah, it's scary. I just want to jump back to one thing. I try not to miss stuff. What do I think of warp drive concepts, like moving? I don't know enough about it. I'm not ignoring it. I just way above my pay grade. So we'll leave it at that. But I don't necessarily believe in ghosts. Because you watch all these like ghost hunters stories or like TV shows and stuff, and there's always like some like thing bang that was supposed to be louder. There's always some bang that happens off camera, and then they like, pan over and they're like, "Do you guys see that?" It's like obviously not, right? Like, it's just one of the.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
You say that until it's in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're banging off camera. I mean, listen, whatever they're doing, it's spooky. I'll give them that. You know, that's why it's always a woman wailing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's. Oh, thanks for the follow. We appreciate that. I want ghosts to be real. I want them to exist. I think it would be so cool. I think it would make the Earth and the planet and just the universe itself so much more interesting. But like, how come we don't have any real evidence? Like,
yeah, we've been chasing ghosts for like centuries, and we still have like, seems like no concrete evidence.
We have stories, right? Like, people have had experiences. I had an experience.
It's really raining out there.
Sorry about any background noise. The picture in the back, that is me and Lauren.
It looks suspicious, I know.
She's in a bathing suit. It's just we were just in Mexico
a couple years back.
I was holding her, giving her a kiss. It was a very sweet picture. But, you know...
Get your mind out of the gutter.
You would think there'd be something more than just anecdotal evidence, which I'm not... It's hard because, like, I don't want to call the people who experienced this a liar. They obviously had something happen.
Right.
So who am I to be like, no, you're wrong? I can't do that. I wasn't there. I didn't experience it. And like I said, I have my own ghost story.
And then you have mediums too, like.
Wholesome maybe, Christian no. No, I don't. Without getting too far into it, I don't really believe in God. Anyway, that's
what my job. Anyway.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. That's just me. But wholesome, I appreciate.
I guess that makes me unwholesome.
Lauren is the least wholesome person you will meet.
No, but I am a teacher, a high school teacher, science teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that makes me like partially wholesome. Yeah, that's what we do for a living.
Oh yes, we I think everybody's new here. This is our first Twitch stream, so. Oh yeah, I'm glad you guys can even hear it. We actually just did a live stream right before this, and it was totally muted. So we're doing it again. No, I did not hear about that, but yeah, it's not surprising at all. But what do we do? Lauren's is a high school science teacher, as she just said. I was wondering why she said that. And I am a research scientist. And then we do a podcast on the side, which we're not like professional podcasts. It's not a career, but
Yeah, Just Not Science is our podcast name. We debunk fake science that we find like flat Earth and all climate change not being real.
No, I don't know how to program or code or do anything. Our website is based on Squarespace, which is just all templates. I just tell it I just pick and choose what I want. It's like online shopping. I didn't have to do shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, engineering is tough. So
yeah,
good for you.
Pausing that, we did come here. So we've been discussing aliens, and we just talked in the beginning. We also said we were going to share some wild stories I have.
Do you guys... I really want a legitimate answer. Do you think that aliens, if they exist, can also have ghosts? Like...
Oh, yeah. Are there ghosts of aliens?
Like, if an alien came to Earth to visit, and it died somehow, does that ghost get trapped on Earth?
You have it.
So, it's like... that's the kind of stuff I think about. Like, do aliens, can they have ghosts?
I don't know. That is still an alien.
Is there do aliens have their own savior? I mean, they might. Who knows? All these questions that I wish I had an answer to. But yeah, let's pivot away from aliens and stuff for a little, and we'll get to some of Lauren's fun zoo stories. His name is Luke Skywalker.
God. So I was a zookeeper for a couple of years. I worked at a big cat sanctuary down in the South Midwest, and then I also worked at a private zoo in the Northeast, and some wild shit happened. What's the name of that?
I don't know what that is. Alaska?
It wasn't Big Cat Rescue, if that's what you're getting at, but I would say that facility is kind of like colleagues of the folks I work with. Yeah. So we have stories about a monkey attack, orangutans, Thompson gazelle escaping, and flamingo. So if anyone has a preference as to which
and the
story...
orangutan picking the lock.
Yeah.
You said
I said orangutans.
Okay.
Just,
I thought you were talking about the
I don't know if anyone has a preference out there for primates versus, like, I don't know, flamingos. Let me know. But I will tell you there's several orangutan stories, and one of them was at the zoo I worked at in the Northeast. The indoor enclosure for the orangutans had a lot of hydraulic doors, and they needed some fixing. We had to call in some maintenance guys, some workers from the outside of the zoo. After they left, we went back in and we looked around, make sure everything was okay for like the orangutans to go back in. Everything looked good. Wasn't me who did it, by the way. I will say this: they were not in my section.
Just getting that shit out.
Clarifying, this was not my fucking fault. So they locked everything up. They let the orangutans back into their enclosure, and lo and behold. First of all, a zoo animal knows every single inch of their enclosure because they spend 24/7 in it. So if there's something missing or off or different, they will find it way before you. Lo and behold, a crowbar was left in the enclosure, and he left it on up like one of the pipes up top, so if you looked up, you wouldn't have been able to see it.
Which is arguably the worst thing for an orangutan to get a hold of.
Yeah.
I'd rather him have a gun than a crowbar because, like, one, they might figure out how to shoot it, but they're more likely to shoot themselves, and also just the noise and recoil, they're more likely to drop it. So they're less, I think, that they are less likely to hurt people with a gun.
They'd probably scare themselves with it first.
Versus a crowbar that they can just swing wildly.
But a crowbar, he was like, this is the best shit ever. Loved it. Of course, the dominant male orangutan found it. And the top of their indoor enclosure was like this tower with some glass windows. I really hope it was like reinforced glass because it seemed like a really dumb idea. So what does he do when he finds the crowbar? He immediately goes up to the tower and starts tapping on the window. And he's like, wow, this is a cool sound. Somebody sees from the outside of the barn that he's tapping on the window with a crowbar, freaking crazy. And they were like, get the pizzas! So I come to find out that we kept frozen pizzas on site for this orangutan specifically because that was his favorite.
Just in case he starts wilding.
Snack to while out on, yeah. So they get the pizza, whether they heated it up or first or not, I don't know. But apparently they went running in with the pizza to the keeper area. And the second he saw that pizza, he slid them the crowbar under the gate, and they slid him the pizza, and that was that. It was like, he saw it, and he freaking knew. He was like, it's about to go down. I'm going to get me some pizzas. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to share it with my girlfriend.
You should give him fake, like, foam crowbars.
We should have after that. But they probably liked the tapping noise of the metal on the glass.
Oh, man. That shit's funny. Yeah, orangutans are wild. They are fucking
really
strong.
Really strong, really smart. Really smart.
Yeah. Crazy. You have another orangutan story.
Yeah, this was from another facility that somebody I worked with told me about. One morning they came in and one of the orangutans was out. Like, the orangutan enclosure was open and some of them were out. And they were like, holy shit, what happened? So they obviously assume that they assume that the keeper left the door open or didn't lock it. Then it happened a second time. Now they're like, we're about to fire this keeper. How could you let orangutans out and be so careless? So before they did that, they checked the cameras, and what they found was insane. So they found that as soon as everyone left at the end of the day, the male orangutan, who had a piece of wire hidden in his upper lip, would take it out and pick the lock. Because, speaking from experience, they watch you open and do the lock so they know if it's like a number combination, if it's a key or whatnot. And so, insane that an orangutan was smart enough to watch and see how the locks work and then had the wherewithal to hide a piece of wire and then pick the lock and let his friends out after everyone left. Like, ridiculous.
Shoot your question, and while we're waiting for it, Lauren's going to tell another story.
Another story?
Yeah, go for it. That's what people are here for, to listen to animal stories.
Wait on.
Better boxers. Get them to hug a little. No, there's no laws. Like, she could murder me right now. If she has a white claw in her hand, cops come here and be like, oh, like, there's no laws.
Whew. It's hot as hell in here.
You're drinking wine right now.
Alright,
Jenkins, what did you try? You tried spam and chat with like emote or whatever? Do I drink American beer? I don't drink beer at all.
Are you not American? Where are you from?
I mean, they might just hate American beer, even if they could be from here. But yeah.
Well, here they don't call it American beer; they call it beer. Damn it.
No, it's still called domestic beer.
American beer sucks. Yeah.
I don't know why it timed you out. That was silly. Because it said it was a bunch of messages, so I thought maybe you like hit like a bunch of emotes or something. That was weird. Sorry. Yeah, American beer ain't great. I also hate beer. I got so sick off of beer once when I was in college, and ever since then I cannot drink beer. It was my freshman year of college, and a buddy of mine was trying to like pledge for this fraternity, and he's like, Nick, there's a party tonight. You gotta come. I was like, I don't want to go to a frat party. We've been to one. We've been to them all. Like, there's no difference between. So he's like, come on, man. I can't go by myself. That looks lame. Like, I need to go with. Fine. This is a Friday night. So we go, and we get there, and like everybody's drinking beer, you know, some like warm tap beer and whatever they can get their hands on. So they, you know, he goes and he starts talking to his frat buddies. I'm like, all right, I know a couple people. We'll just start playing some games. So we're playing beer pong, and then we go on to play flip cup. And then there's another game that I never heard of, and I've never seen it since. It was called 7-Eleven Doubles. And if you guys have heard of it, then you know how dangerous it can be. If you haven't heard of it, basically you get dice. Let's say all of us, everybody in chat and me and Lauren are sitting on a table. And I have dice. I roll the dice. If I get a 7, 11, or a double, I pick anybody I want to drink from one glass. Everybody has one glass that they gotta share. So you better be real cool with these people.
It's a good way to get mono.
It's a good way to get herpes.
Or herpes, anyway.
So we all have this one shared glass. I roll a 7. I tell Lauren, you have to start drinking. From the second she touches the cup, I start rolling the dice again. If I get a 7, 11, or a double before she finishes, she has to drink again. Yes, that is true.
Oh, okay. God, excuse me.
So I, being the freshman, was just getting hammered. This one kid was just like fucking devil. He kept rolling 7s and 11s. I don't know how it was. I don't know if the dice were like loaded or rigged or whatever, but they were pummeling me. And after like an hour of playing, I couldn't do it anymore. And I found my friend, and I was like, dude, I need to go. And he's like, you okay? I was like, no. And so we left, and I stepped outside, and I puked everywhere. And puked a few more times as we walked back to my dorm. He was nice enough to come with me. He's like, I gotta, you know. So we'll take a short break because I'm going to get some water and another White Claw in just a minute. So we go, and I am sick from Friday to Sunday afternoon. I didn't leave bed. It was fucking brutal. So ever since then, like 12 years ago, I do not drink beer. So yeah,
Wild.
Shocking one. No. If you want to see me get really like viscerally sick, sure. But even just the smell of beer really just unsettles my stomach. I had such bad alcohol poisoning. College is great, guys. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to get some water, some White Claws. If you guys want to take a quick bathroom break, get refill yourselves. No, I've never smoked weed. So yeah. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. I don't have a way to pause this, so you're just going to see us leave.
Bye!
So we'll be right back.
I hope we don't lose everyone, though.
And if we do, then we end it. Yes, I can. Fucking rip one. Black cherry. Waiting. And mango. Both respectable flavors. Hey, Jerry. Come here.
No, time to show Jerry.
Come on. Come here.
Time to show Jerry again.
Lauren's just going to pick him up and this is our dog, Jerry.
For any new folks, it's time to introduce Jerry again. Look at his hair.
If you turn him to the side, it looks like he got hit with a pipe. Lauren tried to give him a haircut because he's getting overgrown, and she did a really bad job. Did we get that tag from PetSmart? Where did you get it?
Yes.
Yes, we did. From the Vetco. And thank you. We think he's adorable. He's very chunky. And every fucking time we put him on camera, he goes limp. I don't know what is with this. It's like
he has narcolepsy.
It's like he knows. As soon as we put him on camera, he just is like, I'm done. And he's out. It's crazy. Yeah, he's
a bit. Yeah, he's getting heavy.
He's getting fat. This dog.
He's got that quarantine 15. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing?
Trying to scoot up a little.
Oh
my god! Look at him! He's willing to break his neck.
The dog. He has we put him on camera. He has zero control of his muscles. Like he loses everything, and he turns into a jellyfish.
Yeah.
Why are you like this?
Why are you the way that you are?
What do you like? He doesn't care. He lets us do whatever we want. Yeah, you gotta make sure you get time to my beard or his beard, because he's getting a beard too. I actually trimmed my beard right before we came on stream. It was fucking bushy. It was real lumberjack status. Oh my god, he's adorable. So Lauren's gonna talk to us about some more zoo stories. We're gonna do. He always smells bad.
He does not.
No, I mean, I'm allergic to dogs. How could you tell? Lauren's gonna tell us about the time she was. I don't know what that is, so don't know. Can't comment on it truthfully. Lauren got attacked by a monkey once, and she got. Oh, yeah, it's not good. We're gonna deny that one. Yeah. Put the dog down.
Sorry.
He's done. He's had enough of our shit. He
needs to be walked soon.
He just.
Oh god, he missed his bed.
He didn't. Lauren tried to put him on to Miss Jenkins thinks that they can take a monkey one-on-one. Tell him the fucking story.
You think you can take a monkey?
Tell him.
Yeah, so in my job in the Northeast at the private zoo, I had howler monkeys. And I'm sorry, but they're nasty fucks. And the male never liked me from day one. He met me, wanted to spit in my freaking face, hated me, right? He had a lot of animosity built up. So for a couple weeks before the attack, I noticed he had been hanging around the feed door a lot, which is the small door. It's like this big about, and it's square enough to pull just big enough to pull the bowls in and out. And that's it. Animals are not supposed to fit through their feed door, okay? But I did notice that he was like looking back, he's like kind of around it, sizing it up a lot. So one day, I went in there first thing in the morning, and like many days, he had flipped his freaking water bowl over. And I kept telling the zoo, like, we need to find a way to secure them so we can't flip them, because he could be flipping them the second we leave, and then they have no water all night. So I grabbed the shepherd stick off the wall, like a little Bo Peep stick, and I go into the feed door, and I go to grab the bowl so I could refill it. And this fucker just sees it as me taking his stuff, like taking his things. So he charges the bowl, and as I have the bowl in the door for the feed door, and because I can't close it now because the bowl's in the way, he charges it, and then they are strong. He pushes through, and he pushes the bowl out, and he just immediately starts like ripping into my right leg. Thankfully, the feed door was at like flush with the floor, and it wasn't like up here at my face, because that would have been really bad. Like there's no doubt in my mind he definitely could have killed me because of what he did to my leg. I was wearing jeans that morning, and like 2 seconds in, I was no longer wearing jeans on my right leg. Like he had tore them off from the knee down, and he was just biting and ripping and scratching into 3 like distinct parts on the front of my leg. Thankfully, like the back with the ligaments and muscles and everything would have been much worse, and I probably would have had like a bad or permanent limp. Ugh, think about that. And I didn't know what to do. And thankfully, I had the wherewithal to be like, all right, don't try to pull him off with my hands, because he, that one, definitely could have bit fingers off, or he could have used my hand to climb up my arm and bite my face and my neck. And they have a prehensile tail, which means they can grab with their tail. So it was like having like an octopus on you. So the only thing I could think to do was to kick him into the fence pole, like the wooden fence pole, while he was on my leg. And I kicked him enough to like shock him out of his like rage. And he like went up into the corner of the keeper area. So now he was like diagonally up on me, and I was afraid he was gonna like dive bomb my face. So I took the shepherd stick again, and I used it to keep distance from him. And I opened up the giant keeper door for him to go into, and I like kind of shooed him in. And I think at that point he was a little scared himself, because he was like, I've never been on this side of the cage before, I don't know. Like, he was on my side, the human side, where no animal should be. Once I got him in, like, I locked him back up. I walked out, and I, like, haven't even fully looked at my leg yet, because I knew if I saw the damage, like, I felt what the damage was, but I knew if I saw it, there was a chance I might pass out. So I got back in my, like, RTV vehicle. I found out my boss was back at the main barn, so I met her up there, and I was like, we have a problem.
Hey, so speed this up a little. She wound up going to the hospital, got 8 stitches, because you can't tightly stitch a monkey, any animal bite, because there's a good chance they'll get infected. Anybody, ask her, once she left the hospital, what was the next thing she did?
Oh yeah, I should have got 50 stitches, by the way, but I only got 8.
Yeah, the wound was bad enough to warrant 50.
And I had to call the CDC at the hospital.
Wants to know, what did you do?
Well, this was a Saturday, and I haven't had a Saturday off in a year at this point. So I went to a barbecue. Could you imagine? No, I was hopped up on painkillers at this point, so I went to a barbecue, and my legs were like wrapped up in bloody gauze at this point, and everyone probably thought I was crazy at that barbecue. They were like, your leg's bleeding, and I was like, I was attacked by a monkey today, and they were like, sure you were.
Yeah, they all definitely thought that she was fucking insane. No pool time. She couldn't put her leg on the ground. It had to be elevated the entire time.
Couldn't get it wet either.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Nasty, oozing wound for days.
Okay, well, we don't have to get super graphic about it. I don't think people...
Fuck that monkey.
No, don't fuck that monkey. That's how you get bit real bad. My favorite movie... I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't really have one. So... Yeah. Lauren's favorite movie is Avatar. The one with the blue guys, not the Airbender. I don't think
Back to the Future.
I don't know. Transformers is fun.
Yours is probably like an Avengers movie.
Nah. Maybe like
Saving Ryan's Privates.
Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Forrest Gump's a good one too. That's one of my favorites.
The Hills Have Thighs, The Devil Wears Nada, Cleavage Field. Yeah, I think The Devil Wears Nada. That's my favorite.
Yeah, Nick's not a movie guy. Can barely sit through anything.
We just watched Apocalypto last night, and I was like,
I love that movie.
It was alright. It was a guy running.
Has anyone seen it?
It was a guy running through. I'm gonna say for 2 hours. The first half is like somewhat interesting, and then the next half is a guy running through the woods or the jungle for an hour. There's the movie.
No, it was good, and it was better than that. So I thought you would like it, but
they were wearing man thongs. Yeah, they really were. It's a lot of man ass.
It is a Mel Gibson movie, so I will,
Now she likes movies. You know what it is?
Magic Mike.
I sometimes have trouble with like suspended disbelief. I'll watch a movie and I can't turn off that part of my brain that's like, this isn't believable. Not because the scenario, like it's like zombies or magic or something, but because the way that it's presented is like just like not believable. Like
it's very difficult to get Nick to watch any movie that has fight scenes in it, because he's like, no, that's not how that would happen. If he had a spear, he wouldn't be running like that, or that throw is not believable. So it's like, you just ruin everything.
Yeah. My favorite streamer. I'm a huge Destiny 2 fan. I love that game. So guys like Fallout Plays, Mtashed, they're my favorite. So yeah, I know it's like the only game I own, and it's the only game I have time to play. But I've been playing it for 5 years now, so kind of obsessed with it a little. So
Very.
yeah, they're like my favorite streamers. Then you have some of the other big ones like what's his name
Big Booty Judy. Wait, is that from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Big Booty Judy.
Yeah, his sister's name was.
Oh,
Judy,
maybe
Trudy,
that might
Judy
be.
Trudy.
Yeah, no. She was.
9-9. Oh, okay. But
I don't remember what her name was. Their last name is Judy because he's Doug Judy. She's Trudy Judy, right?
I think so.
I don't remember. New episode's out tomorrow though.
Woo-hoo.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we do is this, and then we talk about science. Been the Cookout, like the restaurant in
Like
South
the chain?
Carolina. Yes. 3 times in the 4 days I was there. It was good. Although I think I've learned to make better burgers. So yeah. I've been doing, like, I think I said it before. I don't remember if I said it in this stream or the one we did right before this. I've been doing a lot of cooking and been watching a lot of master classes like Gordon Ramsay and stuff like that. So, knew a dude who after every 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, cook. It was good.
Ooh, you like to cook? What do you like to cook?
Yeah, every cook has like a specialty or a thing that they enjoy cooking. Ooh, some of the more controversial opinions. Yeah, I want to know what you like to cook, and then Cool Cat will answer the controversial opinions. I need a second to think about that one.
I got one.
You do?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
Well,
While we're waiting for him to type it.
alright. Just curious about what he likes to cook. I think this may not be controversial to you, but I do not believe that vaccines cause autism.
Oh, that's not controversial. That's fact.
I know it's fact, but a lot of people vehemently believe they do. So
They don't have one single study to prove it. We have 50-something, and that's not an exaggeration.
yeah, I know.
That deserves a sip of claw.
Climate change is real.
Yeah, a controversial... I mean, the most controversial thing I probably believe in is, like, I don't believe in God. That's, like, a big one, I think. So, yeah, it's not fun or exciting. What else do I believe in? You know, there's a lot of stuff. I'm
And I don't want to necessarily get political.
Yeah. I think if I start going down that path, it'll turn that. So, hey, listen, there's nothing. Ooh, cheesy garlic bread. Honest to God, no, I'm not a Satanist. Although I like to tell my mom I am. My mom is she believes in God a lot, and she if this was back when Jesus was around, like she would have been a disciple. But I'll just like to call her up, and I used to do this back like when you can easily block your number, and you just like *69, which is also whoever did that nice, right? It was *69 and *67 to block your number. And I would just call her from a blocked number, and she'd be like, "Hello," and I'd be like, "The devil," and like, "Satan wants your soul," and like all this like stupid shit, and she'd be like, "Ah," and then she'd hang up, and I got a real good laugh out of it.
You're a terrible son.
Listen, my favorite thing to do is scare my mom or scare Lauren. You know, you're 69. What a coincidence. But yeah, you know, I'll hide. Oh, and now it's hard because we have Jerry, and he gives me away.
He gives us away. It's so annoying. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Go somewhere else. Do something else, Jerry.
Yeah. Go take a nap. But yeah, she
The way he's laying is not uncomfortable.
my brother, his girlfriend took him. You know, they also live in New York City, so they went to this Halloween thing at a cemetery. One of the popular cemeteries in Brooklyn.
Greenpoint Cemetery, I think.
And my mom was like, what are they doing there? I was like, I think it's like a real Satan thing. Like there's pentagrams all over, and there's like lamb or goat blood or something crazy. I was like, I don't know what they're doing. Like everybody's wearing hoods and robes and shit. I was like, I don't know. And she was like, oh. I was like, yeah, but don't say anything because like it's a surprise for him and like he doesn't know, and I don't want her to get mad that I told you, and then the surprise. She's like, oh, I won't say anything until after, but that sounds really bad. And I was like,
yeah, she was pretty
like,
worried about that for a while.
I was like, this is too easy. It's almost not believable.
So I think to get back at us, I can't remember which happened first, but Nick's brother posted Nick's cell phone number on Craigslist,
what a dick.
Saying that he had a litter of free lab puppies.
Yeah, he put my number on Craigslist and was like, call for free puppies. Like, just had a litter of 6 or whatever. And like for the entire day, I was getting calls and texts from people about like, hey, do you have any puppies left? I told my kids that I get them a dog, and I'm like, son, no, I don't have any dogs. Like that was tough. People were like, we've been looking forever for lab puppies. Like, I would love to get them. I give them such a good home. I already have all the stuff. And one of the other adoptions fell through. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was a real shit move.
Is your username because of Tiger King? I assume that's what it is because it's 2020. And it's from like all the cool cats and kittens thing that Carol Baskin.
Hey there, all you cool cats and kittens.
We actually did 2 podcast episodes on the Tiger King. One was just about us bullshitting and talking about animals. Lauren has some other stories back from when she was working at the animal sanctuary. And then we did a second episode literally right after we interviewed the head curator for Turpentine Wildlife Refuge.
Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge.
And she talked about some of the stuff that you don't see behind the cameras. And who's Sexy Rick? And how do I meet them? But, you know, some of the things that, like, the cameras don't show you about these facilities that guys like Joe Exotic run. And, like, while they might look good, or while they, you know, he might talk a big game, there's a lot of shit that happens that just is totally unacceptable. The guy in the cat series, Sexy Rick, I don't know who... I didn't watch it, truthfully. Lauren watched it. I wanted to have... like a genuine reaction to when Lauren would tell me something that happened in the show. I wanted to like, I didn't want it to be scripted. I try really hard for our show to be exotic. If you're confusing Sexy Rick with Joe Exotic,
yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Rick is. The one with the leopard underwear and the gear shot.
Doc, like I said, I didn't watch, so I didn't know.
There was like a Tim, there's Doc Antle, there's...
Someone asked before if Lauren had worked with Doc Antle, and no, she doesn't. Or
someone
didn't.
did?
So, yeah, someone did. We missed it.
No, fuck that guy.
Yeah. But
you want to be one of his wives and support that shit? Fuck that.
What?
I don't like the way he treats his animals either.
Not the multi-wives thing. If that's what you're into, whatever, I don't really care. I only have the energy and money for one. But... you need a bong hit. I need a man. I need a man to hug and kiss. That's my. I was gonna type it in chat, but it's. I need a man to hug and kiss. One of my favorite names was from one of the Austin Powers movies, and her name was Alada Vagina.
Oh yeah, so you've been to Doc Antle's place in Myrtle Beach.
That's the thing, you don't know. Like, they do such a good job hiding it.
Yeah.
And they have to.
And it seems great, and I'm sure they tell you a lot of things about, like, all the stuff they do in conservation efforts and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, once those cubs hit, like, 12 weeks old, they just become a money pit. And they can't be used for pay and play anymore. And they're cost anywhere between, like, $6,000 and $10,000 to feed a big cat every year. No one's going to keep that around when they're not bringing in money.
Yeah, especially when you have 5-6 of them.
Yeah.
You know, So, yeah. If you guys are interested in Tiger King and some of that kind of stuff, then I definitely encourage you to check out our podcast episodes on that. And hopefully you enjoy it. And maybe you like some other stuff that we do. But, yeah. Thank God she didn't... Yeah, people want... I think she was pretty enough to be one of those. It's tough. Like I said, you don't always know what's going on. Like, and you can't be faulted just because you go there and you handle one of these cubs. Like, they make it seem like there's such a nurturing and caring environment, and how can you know?
To the everyday person, it looks fine. And I actually applied to be an intern at Big Cat Rescue, but I took another one instead. So, could have been on that documentary, man. Dang it.
I think that they would get. You know what? Maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say I think that they have better sense than that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Joe Exotic's probably married to one, and we just don't have record of it. But
yeah, I mean, you would have to like trank it though.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's called craziness.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
You ever, like, it's like one of those videos. Yeah. Listen, I am all for educating people on animal welfare and just what animals are supposed to be like in their natural habitat and in nature. And there's a way to do it and there's not. And I think some zoos are a good way to do it. And I think some zoos are a really bad way to do it. You know, I went to a turtle sanctuary, and it was one where they buy turtles from people who were selling them illegally and stuff, or like traffic turtles, and because turtles are actually very heavily trafficked. So they buy them and rehabilitate them and release them, and I don't even know the name of the place, so I couldn't even do my research now to be like, did I even go to like a good, helpful place? Because you're there on vacation, like, oh, do you want to go do this? You want to do this? And it's like, yeah, sure. Like, real question: big versus small booty. That's tough.
It's a mini cat.
Yes, it does.
8 cats does count as a mini cat too.
I love cats. Is the only thing I miss about the girl that I dated before Lauren was that she had 2 cats and I loved one of them. But you are living with 8 little assholes. That's just how it goes. Also, thanks.
Cats are jerks.
Yeah, they're the best, but also the worst. Yeah, but they are mean to me. Yeah, it's. How long have we been together? August will be 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and then hopefully, with any luck, we can get married in.
Supposed to get married in November, but who knows? With this pandemic, might have to cancel the wedding, folks.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just do something small and personal, but we're still getting married, so that'll go. Oh yeah, I mean that's a long time. 5 years that's a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to answer the question before. Would you guys want us in the chat to be your couple stuff? I think so. One of the things that you don't see about Lauren, at least not yet, is she can be spicy. Like she can be fiery. I think is the better word. She wants to. If something's bothering her, then she will come right at you and she will say it. She doesn't hold back. She's not one of those kind of people that's gonna sit there and be like bringing up shit that happened.
Astrology boy. Oh boy. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's 8 cats, but so I don't think that I have. No, she's not Latina.
A lot of people, I've always gotten that, and I don't know why. People always think I'm Latina.
She's Sicilian.
I'm Italian.
Like myself. But she doesn't hold back. She's not afraid to tell me what's on her mind if something's bothering her. So I never have to guess what she's thinking or feeling. She will tell me. So I don't, I think we have pretty good communication. I think we balance each other out a lot. She's always thinking about our future. And she always wants us to be, if you ask my dad, the mob doesn't exist. So, yeah. But she, we balance each other. She's always thinking about our future. She, always tries to keep us, heading on a good track and grounded. and I'm very right now. I'm always, what are we doing today? What are we doing tomorrow? How are we, like, what's going to be the most fun for us? How did we meet? Tinder.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And I wasn't using it actually as a hookup thing. If I'm being totally honest with you guys, I don't like one night stands. I've had them. Didn't enjoy them. I'm not answering
he
that.
gets the Steve Carell thing all the time. Yes, he is a Steve Carell lookalike. It's amazing.
If I didn't have this beard, or if it was like thinner and a little more like salt and pepper look, you guys would be like, "Oh shit, that's Steve Carell." Especially if I put my glasses on. I have like the rectangular frame glasses that he wears. Oh, good. Now you see it too. What's the opening line I used? Oh
God, it's so silly. You just messaged me. He said, "Hey, have you ever heard of Cole's Law?" And I didn't know the joke, so I was like, "Oh my god, what if this is really like a science question?" And I googled it.
It was I was like, everybody has heard of Murphy's Law, the idea of that something can go wrong or will. But have you heard of Cole's Law? And then she had to fucking look it up and ruined it. The joke is they're supposed to say no, and the response is, it's thinly sliced cabbage.
Coleslaw, I guess.
Coleslaw, thinly sliced cabbage. Boo, I know. But this bitch looked it up and was like, you mean cabbage? I was like...
Listen, I like corny, nerdy guys, so I was all for it.
I'm about as... Actually, I think she's the nerdier one of the two of us. In case, if you guys had to guess, which one of us went to science camp? Who would it be?
I'll wait.
Man, fuck off. No, it was Lauren. Why do you think I was saying it? I was saying it.
Yeah, I went junior year of high school.
She went to science camp.
It was litty titty, so I had fun.
Science camp.
Listen, whatever. I had fun. I learned a lot. So.
Yeah, sure. Oh man, we gotta walk Jerry.
Yeah, we gotta walk Jerry. We gotta change Nick's bloody bandage.
What about science team though? Our school didn't have a science team. As much as I am a big science nerd and stuff, and Lauren too. I don't think you had like. They didn't have like a science version of like the math team, or like chess team or something.
No, but I started the green team, like the environmental club.
You're not helping. She teaches biology and earth science.
Yeah.
I figured I'd answer that for her because I don't think she saw it.
I think I actually need glasses.
I'm sure that helps.
It does help. What is earth science? Like astronomy. No, it's like astronomy.
It's rocks.
Rocks, minerals, weather. Those are some of the major units. Relative age and dating.
Speaking of major units. No, the cars aren't kicking in. I could drink. I mean, they're fucking nothing. I could drink probably 4 of these and feel nothing. I don't drink a lot, guys. This is like 4 White Claws would be a lot for me. Also, it's a lot of carbonation. I just can't handle that. Drink too much water. But we gotta
get this pooch out.
Yeah, we gotta walk the dog. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. You guys talking about me. I assume that's because of the big unit.
Uh-huh.
But Jerry needs to go out, this big fluffy chunker. So we're gonna head out. We really appreciate you guys hanging by the stream. We would appreciate any follows. And I'm not even gonna ask for subs and stuff like that. If you guys just want to follow, just to come around, that's appreciated enough. Definitely check out our podcast. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, and we're gonna be back on Saturday, and we have our stream schedule down below. You guys can't even see I had my finger off camera. If you scroll down below, we have our stream schedule Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday. So hope to see you guys then. Saturday, I want to do some cooking and talk about the science behind some of the food that we eat. So I think that will be fun.
Oh no, Jerry's going down. Oh God.
All right, guys.
He's going limp.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, some cooking camp. We're gonna get into it. So hopefully I'll see you guys at 11 a.m. Eastern. No, you have a meeting.
Right, later on Saturday. We'll figure it out.
12 p.m. Saturday. That's when we're doing it. 12 p.m.
I have a
Saturday.
meeting at 11:30.
It'll be fine. They will enjoy
right.
it. Have a good
Bye.
night, everyone. Thank you.
Rock-a-bye.